Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Happy Soothing Sunday. Welcome to Soothing Sundays. I'll just wait a minute for you guys to come in, and then we'll do a neurological reprogramming technique. And you could do it with me or whenever you're watching this, and then do it throughout the week. The technique we're going to do is called emotional repatterning. Have a hard time saying that sometimes. But it's going to help you have a new response to something that would trigger you. I'm going to make sure. One second. Let's see. Okay, that's better. It's kind of a weird time of day. So let me know how you're doing, and also let me know if you have any questions about mental health. It could be something specific that is pertaining to you. Any questions about relationships, toxic people. If you follow me, you know that I talk about or help people with getting over toxic relationships, but also so you don't attract them again, because you don't want to get out of this relationship and be like, oh my gosh, and then attract the same thing or worse. We don't want that. Okay, so we're here to level up. We're here to rewire our brain, reprogram our nervous system to have better experiences and to really elevate every area of your life, your health, wealth, relationships, career, and everything is interconnected. So if you heal and help and elevate one area, then the other one will get better. Hey, Peter says, hey, Lauren, hope you had a good week. I hope you did too. Your internet issues, oh God, it's like they're ongoing, but I'm not letting that stop me. Okay. I lead by example. I tell you guys, don't let anything, be an excuse. Same here. They are frustrating. I posted the video, the live stream from when I was having the internet issues, and I cut out that part. So it's, more, because there was a lot of, you guys asked some great questions in that. I just wanted to edit that out because it was so annoying. And if you go back and watch that, I'm sorry if there's any parts that are kind of blurry. I'm doing my best with the internet. It's just weird. And then I also realized that I have something on my Windows that kind of like blocks the internet signal for whatever reason. So we're working through it. We're working through it. And I was going to do, what's it called? Starlink. And they said that wouldn't be helpful. And I was like, oh man, I thought Starlink would be the problem, the issue to fix my problems, but no, but that's okay. We're going to make it work. So we'll get started on this week's neurological reprogramming tool. I want you guys to use it all week. And then after that, I'm going to answer your questions. I have a few from just the week that are from DMs and comments. So I'll answer those, but please let me know if you have any questions, okay? So we're going to get started with the neurological reprogramming technique. It's called emotional repatterning. And what it's going to do is something that you have a lot of charge around. You're triggered by, you have a lot of energy around in a negative way. So something brings up a lot of fear, right? That's why I'm doing it today, because a lot of us get Sunday scaries. So we're going to take an issue that brings up a lot of fear, that we have a negative charge around, that we want to lessen, okay? Decrease. So I want you to breathe deeply first. Just take a few breaths right now. You can close your eyes if you want to, but start to breathe deeply. And we're going to do that for just a few seconds. Okay, and you're going to keep breathing deeply. And anytime your mind starts to wander, I want you to just come back to the sound of your breath. You can even think about the movement of your breath, like, oh, my chest is rising as I breathe. But just that really anchors you in the present moment. That's why you always want to start anything with that. Journaling, anything. You want to start, like, just anchor yourself in the present moment as much as possible. So you're going to keep breathing deeply as you do this. Now, I want you to think about something that you have fear around, something that triggers you, especially on Sundays. If you do get the scary Sundays, what in particular brings that up? And I just want you to hold it. I want you to think about it. And it's okay. Feel all the feelings attached to it. Don't suppress it. Don't be like, oh, I'm supposed to be in a good mood about this, or I don't want to think about this. Just allow it to exist and allow whatever feelings that you have about it to exist. And what you're going to do is just stay really present with it, because you'll notice, and this is part of the letting go technique from the book Letting Go that I've been talking about. If you can just sit with it, it will go away a lot faster than trying to suppress it or not think about it or finding a solution for it. Often the solutions for things come up so much more quickly if we could just sit with it for a second. So as you continue to breathe deeply, bring to mind the thing that is causing fear, causing some type of emotional charge, and just allow yourself to feel all the feelings. If there's somewhere in your body that you're feeling it, notice that, like, okay, I feel that in my shoulder, I feel that in my chest, wherever it is, I feel that in my knee, wherever you feel it, and allow yourself to just feel everything attached to it. And do that for a couple seconds. And then after that, because we're still breathing deeply, I want you to use your exhales and just say, like, as I exhale, I'm letting the negative emotional charge go. I'm letting it go. I'm just going to slowly let it go. I'm just going to decide to let it go. And I'm also going to decide that this situation is safe now. This situation is at peace now. This situation is resolved now. And you're going to continue to breathe deeply. And then as you exhale, you're going to decide to have a new belief about this. Now, this is the part that it gets kind of tricky. You're going to decide you're going to have a new belief in this. And and also when you are feeling it in your body, if you do, that's actually really great awareness. And if it helps, like, put your hand over it, like in a loving way. So if it's in your shoulder, in your chest, or on your knee, wherever it is, and then just breathe deeply. And tell yourself, this situation is getting better. This situation is resolving itself. I'm deciding to have, if it's like a health issue, I'm deciding that I have radiant health now. I'm deciding that I have like financial prosperity. I'm deciding that I have like financial overflow. I'm deciding that I have the most loving relationships. I have the most peaceful relationships now, and continue to breathe into that. So you're creating a new neural pathway. So we're going to repeat it and breathe deeply. And your inner critic doesn't have to believe this. This has nothing to do with your inner critic. Your inner critic tries to keep you small and tries to keep you fear-based and wants you to be in fear. So we're not, this has nothing to do with your inner critic. This is you aligning with your state of peace. So you're going to keep breathing deeply and just, again, we're doing emotional repatterning. So whenever you think about this, you have an emotion attached to it. So now you're going to think about it and decide to have a new emotion attached to it. It sounds very simple, because it is and it works, but we have to kind of have like the discipline to do it. It's kind of like when you go to the gym, you're like, okay, you have to do these 5 reps of 10 or whatever it is. And it's like, okay, it's like, oh my God, you get to 2 and you're like, I don't want to do it. So we're just going to finish. We're going to get to those 5 reps. Right. And so I want you to, whatever it is, keep holding it in your mind, acknowledge where you're feeling it in your body, and tell yourself, I am safe. The situation is safe. The situation is very peaceful now. The situation is very joyously abundant. The situation is very lucrative. The situation, I'm very healthy. I'm just in this very loving, peaceful relationship. Everything at work is amazing and thriving. And, everything that wasn't going right at work just fell off. And now everything that it needs to come into play, it just fell into place. Okay, because whatever we give energy to, we create in our lives. Like, your mind is really that powerful. I'm going to keep saying it until until you're living your life like that. So I want you to do this technique like obsessively as much as you can throughout the week. Every Sunday on Soothing Sundays, I give you guys a new neurological reprogramming technique. So I want you to do this one. You just pause, and it is a form of meditation. If you're like, oh, I suck at meditation, I get that one all the time. It's like, no, you don't, because you're pretty good at breathing. Otherwise you'd be dead. So you're halfway there, and you don't have to close your eyes. Meditation is just about concentrated focus. You could do this technique on a walk. You could literally be on a walk, breathing deeply and holding your focus on something and choosing to think about it in a different way and feel about it a different way. That's all it is. But you're just really getting laser focused with your energy. The word laser, think about what the word laser focus means. It's a light that is concentrated so much that that's able to like change the form of something. Isn't that amazing? So that's what you're doing with your energy. You're focusing it and you're concentrating it so much that you're changing the environment. You're changing something around you, right? Okay, so promise me you're going to do that for the whole week. Okay? You can do that anywhere. You could do that in your car. You could do that, for 10 minutes if you're taking a break from answering emails. There's no excuse to not do it. And make a thing on your phone, a reminder on your phone throughout the day to do it. So it's like, oh yeah, you could just snap right into it and be like, okay, I'm going to do this for 3 minutes. Okay, there you go. Now you know how to meditate and you could do it any time of day. Let's see. I have been struggling, Women of God United. Hi. I've been struggling with triggers so terribly lately. I need tools. Oh, well, you are in the right place because all of my content is about neurological reprogramming tools to rewire your brain and reprogram your nervous system to not let triggers affect you. Triggers can be there, but we want to react to them differently because how we react to our environment shapes it and it shapes our life. And so this is one of my favorite things that, especially in my private practice, when I have a client be like, oh my God, that used to trigger the shit out of me. And now I don't, it's like I'm getting chills. Like it's such a liberating moment, right? Because you don't want to be, people think they want to be happy and you want to be free. You want to be free. You don't want to be imprisoned by any of your triggers. So you're in the right place, Woman of God United. I love it. You feel it in your chest. Okay, good. That's good awareness that you feel it in your chest. So sometimes when we feel things in our chest, and this is somatic psychology, when we feel things in our chest, that could be grief, that could be anxiety, that could be like a sense of, this is under grief, of like longing for something. It could feel like that you have too much responsibility. So a lot of like, and I could do a whole thing about somatic psychology, but where you feel things in your body often correlates with a belief, a false belief, or some form of anxiety that is around that. Like knees are about fear of moving forward. Lungs, which you often feel in your chest, is about grief. But the heart can be anxiety or longing or heartbreak. It's really interesting. The eyes, like, or if you have a headache or anything, it could be about not wanting to see something that's there. It's fascinating. So yeah, if you're feeling it in your chest, it could be one of those things, Woman of God United. I'm choosing to believe for restoration of my relationship with my son. That is a beautiful intention and shift in belief. I love that. And so feel into that. Like, what does that restored relationship look like? How does it feel? Is it peaceful? How do you guys communicate? I've had so many clients where I'm like, you know what? I just want you to don't even call them, right? Just stay in your lane and like focus on what that looks like. And then all of a sudden, magically, and it's like you just shifted your energy and it's felt. That person calls or reaches out and it's like, okay, let's mend this or whatever. And it feels miraculous, and it is, but it's your energy deciding to align with like peace, like these higher energy states of peace and love and God consciousness. So I think that's wonderful, like choosing that, feeling into that. And when you feel that in your heart, like how does it feel? So heartwarming, to have that restored relationship. It feels like pure love. That's what it feels like, right? So feeling into that, I love that. I just started following you earlier. Oh, hello. Well, it's nice to meet you, Woman of God. Maybe I should stop reaching out to him to say I love you. I just worry he's around so much manipulation. And that's a fair thing to worry about. And I'm assuming from, your handle, Woman of God, that you have a certain type of faith, that you believe in God and can trust. And so this is like when we have the biggest, and I say this a lot in my content, the biggest crises we have are like like when we really feel in the depths of despair. That is an invitation to lean into whatever you call your higher power, God, source, universe, it doesn't matter. So can you hand this over to God and then just trust that it's being taken care of and that he won't run into manipulation. And I know this comes from a protective place and wanting the best for him. And, but yeah, maybe just not reaching out as much, because a lot of times that does make us repel, right? For whatever reason, we all have our different reasons. Every dynamic is a little different. But what if you put this in God's hands more and just be like, okay, God already knows the situation, first of all. So it's kind of like, you know, the situation, fear and resistance and worry is like the opposite of God. Like I believe that God doesn't want us to worry. I think lower energy wants us to be in fear-based states so we can be controlled. So if you can say, "Hey, I don't want to be in a fear-based state around my relation around any area of my life, but around my relationship with my son, can you help me? Can you take over this situation, God, and just show me what to do?" And like I've done that so much in my life. God, universe, whatever. I'm like, you know what? You just take over. You just take over, because I've tried my way, and it's been stressful, and it's a lot of energy, and I'm tired. So let me know how that resonates with you, Woman of God United. I need to try. It's so hard to have faith in the storms. But that, yeah, and that's what like, that is how you strengthen your alignment with whatever, even if it's just like a quantum physics thing. Like people are like, oh, I'm science-based. Great. I mean, it's been proven in science. It's like, it's all the same stuff. That's why I always pass people, like if they have a religious orientation or a spiritual orientation, or if they're science-based, it all leads to the same thing. You know, I'm happy to tell you. So can you, it is hard, but what if I told you it isn't? And I know that you know that. Like if you have any type of faith, your ego, your inner critic that has been trying to control everything and wants to control your son and wants to, is telling you you have to be in control of it. Well, that's saying that you're, you know, God. And, you know, and like I do think that we all have God consciousness in us, but like your son has a higher power and it's not you. Everyone, like you can't really control anyone, but you can have faith that everything's supposed to work out. And when you can release that, everything falls into place. And Woman of God, I've talked, I think you would like this book, Letting Go. It's a book called Letting Go by David R. Hawkins. I talk about it a lot because I really like it. And when I first get a client, or if people are like, hey, I'd like to work with you, but it's out of my price range right now or whatever, I always say start with that book. Because even if, you know, when, you know, because I have a lot of clients and people that watch my videos and they're like, boom, I got that, you know, multi-million dollar idea. And like, now you have more money than me, which is great. But like, you know, if you focus on what you want and like improving yourself, everything just gets better. That's how it goes. Every area of your life gets better. Okay, and like that's good, Woman of God. I'm glad that you know, you don't have that much resistance. You're just a little heartbroken, or a lot heartbroken over your son. But if you can say it's so true, I like that you're not arguing for your limitations, because you know what mama's gonna do if you start arguing for your limitations and tell me, but this, or I have this, and like, yeah, we can acknowledge that. We can acknowledge that this sucks and that sucks, and then we're gonna do stuff about it. We're gonna trust our higher power, and we're gonna like move in faith, and then we're gonna, you know, take the action, like the good action that's actually gonna get us where we want to go in life. Okay, let me scroll back because let me see. Peter, just ensure you're not driving in the car if you're doing it. Well, yeah, we don't want to drive with our eyes closed. But if if you're at a stoplight and you can drop into that, where you're just like, okay, this thing that used to trigger me and now I feel great about it. Like, let's say it's money and you're like, oh, I have all the money I need and more at a stoplight. And then it's like green light. Okay. Because in those filler spaces is where, the neural pathway can be strengthened and the ones that we don't want can be weakened. Right. Or like, you're in the line at the grocery store and you're like, oh man, I have radiant health. Isn't it wonderful that that I have radiant health? So you're always flooding your mind with these new things. Does that make sense? That's the difference I'm talking about. Okay. I'm late. You know what? You're just on time. I comment to make you angry. Nice to see you. Okay. Let me see. I will hold off my questions until after you address the question. Sure. Let Let me see. Mike, hi, Mike. This might have been mentioned earlier, but your live session posted twice on YouTube last time. Oh, so the yeah, the streaming software I use, it does it in like the vertical format, whatever that's called, like the shorts format, and then the long format, which is like what you would see on like it's like landscape and whatever it's called. Um because it reaches different audiences. And so, yeah, it will post twice in two different formats, whichever one you like, cuz some people like to watch it like the handheld or whatever it is, and then some people like to watch it like that. But thank you. Um, so true. Let's see. Thanks again for the weekly session on behalf of all. You're so welcome. And so right now I'm doing twice a week. So soothing Sundays. Sorry, I have to stay in frame. Soothing Sundays and every Sunday. And then a midweek one. So this coming week, I will be going live Wednesday evening. So I'm already looking forward to that. And you know what, we're gonna have a good week this week. If you missed the neurological reprogramming technique, which is called emotional repatterning, watch this when it's posted. And I want you guys to do that this week. Let's see. Thank you so much for this help. You're so welcome. That's what I'm here for. And I've made the decision that I'm going to start a school community. And so it'll be like this, but it'll be more intimate, and it'll be like a Zoom where you know, I'll answer you guys' questions, but I'll be able to talk to you. Like I'll bring you up on the stage or whatever it's called on Zoom, and then we'll talk in person. So I'm just putting that together. So I just want these different levels of like, this is available, and then the school community will just have like some more features that I'm adding to that. And then like, you know, if you want to take one of my courses or work with me one-on-one, I want all these options for you. You have no excuse to not be the best version of yourself. But that's my mission in life. And I just want to help you guys in as often or as much as I can. Let me go to the questions, and then let's see. Okay, do narcissists believe their lies? And this is so infuriating to so many, because they'll gaslight you, and it's like, you can't possibly believe that. You can't possibly and it's a form of gaslighting. And here's the thing. Two things. No, to answer the question, no, they don't. And I know this because even if they're dead ass serious, oh yeah, no, they know they don't, because when you call them out on it, or if you provide any evidence to the contrary, which is very easy to do these days because everyone has a phone, they get so triggered. They get triggered as fuck. Okay. Now, if you really believe something and then maybe some evidence was provided to the contrary, wouldn't you be like, oh, sorry about that? It wouldn't be a big deal. But they lose it, right? Because they are, a lot of their thing is to manipulate and control you, all the personality disorders. So if you provide some type of thing where they can't manipulate or control you, or one of their tactics isn't working, they don't like that. It's called narcissistic annihilation. And it literally feels like they're going to die and their world is crumbling because, one, they're embarrassed. Two, they can't control and manipulate you. And three, most importantly, you are calling them out and they don't like taking accountability. They will avoid anything to take accountability. So yes, the truth is that they know what they're doing. And then I made a video about this, you guys. Oh my gosh. Now I'm going to vent. I made a video about narcissistic delusion, which I kind of think is hilarious, of all the tactics that they use. And what they do is they exaggerate something about themselves. So they'll be like, oh my God, I am Mensa. I'm a genius, even though there's I am the most talented, whatever. I am the most beautiful, whatever. They'll talk like this. It's so funny. So anyway, Trump, and I don't have the post was not political. I don't really care about, it could have been about anyone really. I wasn't trying to talk about Trump, but people that are actually stupid, they saw that it was this thing, it said the word Trump in it, and they're like, "Yeah!" Like, all these Trump supporters, and I'm like, "Bro, I'm not even talking about Trump." But anyway, it said, like, Trump is, like, 6'3", and he has, like, 4% body fat. I mean, he's not, like, he's clearly, and so it shows a picture of him, and then in comparison, someone that is 6'3" and has, like 9% body fat, and it's, like, this ripped, like, very, like, muscular looking dude, and then Trump, who's like completely like but like narcissists will do that. They're like, yeah, and he was saying that he just got his physical done. I guess Trump was saying that, and he's like, oh my god, I'm just like amazingly healthy. So anyway, narcissists do that. My point is to like educate you and let you know that this is common, and you don't have to like get so frustrated and lose your mind over it. And like, just like most things, you could just look at them and be like, okay, if you think that that's true, sure. I just don't, your life force and your energy is so precious, so I don't want you to give it to toxicity like that, or like trying to prove them wrong. And I even say, I call myself out in it when I was dating Angry Midget, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm 6 feet tall and 10% body fat," and I grabbed his little fupa, and he didn't like that. Okay, now if he really thought he was 10% body fat, why would he wouldn't get triggered? So that happens. And yeah, and the cult mentality thing. And so it's kind of under the same thing of like having this cult mentality, um, of like, and this happens with people that have low self-esteem and also that are not very smart, which are the easiest people to control. But they can also be very dangerous. So people that have very low self-esteem and they have no like purpose in their life, and they're not very smart, they're very easy to manipulate and control, and those type of people become fanatic. Like, so, like, for instance, that post I made, these people are like, "Oh, well, you know what? Like, Trump did for this country." I'm not even arguing. I'm not talking about that. But I'm like, "You didn't even watch my post." This guy wrote this long-winded thing about all these great things that the president did, and I'm like, "I'm not even talking about that." I'm like, "This long-winded thing has nothing to do with me educating people about narcissism." He's like, "Well, I didn't even watch the video because that was too long-winded." Oh, holy, and I'm like, this is why I don't like dumb people. Okay. And none of you guys are stupid. I don't attract that into my life. Like, and you guys are here because you're very smart and you want to have the best health, wealth, relationships, and career. But that cult mentality is very dangerous. And that's another reason I'm doing this, is because I feel like, people that are actually wanting to do good in the world and help people like need to do more and speak up and like educate other and empower other people. I really want to empower you guys. Like, I mean, that's one of my favorite things to do when people take my course or work with me one-on-one, and then they just like, they're like, oh hell yeah, and then they start going after whatever it is they want and they get it. And it's like, I want that for you. There are things, narcissists, whatever, that want you to stay small so they can manipulate and control you. And I want you to be the most elevated version of yourself that's fucking thriving. So, and we know what we're just going to ignore the stupid people. We're going to ignore them. And then the more we focus on ourselves and become the best version of ourselves, then those people just kind of go away. Right. Cause then, we're the ones that are actually making a difference and doing good things in the world. And they're just, being dumb and going away. A comment to make you angry. Majority of people are wrong when they call someone out or lie. There are adults who still believe. Yeah, I know. And it's just like, and also it's kind of like the willingness to be wrong. Like, you can be wrong. I've apologized for things. I've like one time, actually, I think it was a year ago, I did this post about Northwest. It's pinned to my Instagram. It's pinned because everyone had this react, and I was talking about like this child. She's gonna be an angry like narcissist, and lo and behold, I need to do an update on that. But like, everyone was like, "You said the word bitch," and I'm like, that's not even the point, But you're so wanting to defend the Kardashians who don't give a fuck about you. It's crazy. Um, I lie. A lie isn't someone says something with intent to be deceitful and it has to be proven. Yeah. Okay. Calling someone a liar without evidence, I think in turn makes you a liar. Yeah. I mean, it's also like with narcissist, it's kind of like only my reality exists. Like that's it. So it's like being in a cult. It's like you have to follow my rules, you have to have my worldview, and otherwise that's it. Oh, and Peter, I'm done with there was only 2 questions. So if you want to drop your question, I'll answer it while I'm reading these comments. If you tell Johnny it's dinner time and Johnny says, Mom, I'm fighting a dragon, and is he lying? Well, I don't know. Johnny seems like a kid. I don't really know if I want to get into all that. Someone who says versus someone says they're doing their homework and they're playing video games. Yeah, I mean, it's different when kids are testing boundaries, but yeah. Oh my God, I have a family who would die for Trump. It's so cold. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, are these people that like would die for Beyonce or anyone? Like, I mean, you could be a fan or whatever of someone and still like have your personal sovereignty, you know? But a lot of narcissists like attract cult like people. Why? Because they have this sense of confidence. Like if you are, you know, ostensibly confident enough to be like, yes, everything I do is amazing and I'm amazing. And even though I look fat, I'm going to say I have 4% body fat. And like, if you know, if you even come off like you're believing your lies, like I'm telling you, confidence is a drug. It is a drug that humans love because people often don't have a lot of it. So if they could look at someone and they're like, oh, you can lead, like you're so confident and I feel safe around, like this false sense of safety. You know, we all want safety. So that false sense of confidence provides this like sense of like safety and belonging that a lot of people long for that they don't have in themselves. So they search for it in other people. I hate stupid people too. I mean, yeah, here's the thing about being dumb. It's lazy. It's just lazy, you know? So it's kind of like you have the ability to take time, especially the internet exists. You don't even need to read a book. Like you can listen to a podcast. You can do all these things to expand your mind instead of saying so myopic and, you know, deciding to just have like one little worldview and then get angry at everyone that doesn't agree with you. And then, and also allow yourself to be brainwashed. Like, think about it, you know, like, are you just going to just go along with whatever anyone says? Or are you going to use your critical thinking skills? That's just, yes, woman of God, and charisma too, especially with, um, you know, if you're dealing with toxic people like one-on-one and they're pulling you in that love bombing stage, which is called the idealization stage in psychology, that charisma feels like so good and it feels like, oh my God, this person that's so charismatic likes me and like sees all these things in me, and they really don't. They're just saying what they need to say. They're becoming the person that you want them to be. And you know, it's not genuine charisma, but it really feels like it. But whatever they're like, okay, what does this person want, need, desire? It's like, I'm going to become that. And then they come off just so like magnetic. And it's like, oh, I want more of that person. So Peter says the neurological techniques you talked about, is it about calming the mind and it is hard? Is it about calming the mind and it is hard? I'm just saying, I'm just starting. Oh, you're asking me, is it hard? It's as hard as you want it to be, boo. Like, I mean, you could decide. I mean, I keep saying this, like, you can decide how difficult something is, and then that's how difficult it will be. You can just decide, like, hey, this is my new Neville Goddard talks about this is about just deciding. Like you can, and it's also been proven in quantum physics and certain things. It's like, okay, if you move your awareness to there, then you become that. And I'm trying to think it's what the quantum theory is called. But anyway, um, yeah, you could just decide this is my new reality where things are easy and I could change my mind like that. So I don't think it's hard, but you can like think about something that you think is easy and someone's like, it's so hard. It's so hard. And I don't know. And you're like, dude, relax. It's actually not. Chill. So no, it's not hard. And it doesn't have to be hard. I do think, you know, Peter, because I know a fair amount about you now, that your nervous system is and your inner critic is really feeding on this baseline state of like everything has to be hard and everything like truly like addicted to suffering. So we're not addicted to suffering up in here. Okay, we're like thriving in a state of peace and in a flow state where things are going our way. And so no, your mind is powerful and you have control over your mind. You got to remember that. um is it just repetition, persistence that will train? Yes. So repetition absolutely is the easiest way, because you want to reinforce that neural pathway. And when you're reinforcing one neural pathway, like my baseline state is peace, let's take that. You're not paying attention to the other one. The other one is dying by neglect. It's just like the plant analogy I used. Okay, this is suffering. This is like, oh my God, everything is hard. And I suffered to get just a little bit of everything. That's one plant, right? And it's pretty tall. Okay. Then you have this new little seedling that's like, oh, I'm in this baseline. It's so cute and green. And it's like, oh, and I'm in this baseline state of peace. And every time I water it, it grows a lot. And it's like, okay, but then I'm gonna go over and water the suffering plant more. If you leave the fucking plant alone, just put it in a corner and let it die, like the suffering thing, okay? And like the trash man will take it out in a week, okay? So like let it go, let it go. Just act. I mean, it doesn't exist anymore. It's as simple as deciding that. And I really do like that technique of like I'm choosing a new reality, because then you don't even get stuck in the past of like your inner critic trying to torture you about the past, because where does that what feedback loop does that keep you in the fucking past, which doesn't exist anymore? Okay, the past literally doesn't exist anymore. All we have is this present moment, and with this present moment you can create a lot of amazing epic shit. You can create the rest of your life. You could start right now, and this Sunday right now. I'm not kidding, it can. And that's why you hear about so many people like hitting a rock bottom moment and then being like, you know what, okay, this is where everything changes. It can't get any worse than this. And this is where everything changes. This is why you hear some of the most inspiring stories about like whatever. They had that rock bottom moment and they're like, fuck it. There's nothing else I could do. I'm just going to start. Or like I told you about my client, because you were asking for evidence, Peter. Like I had a client who had a defibrillator, and she had tried every like prescription medication to sleep, and alcohol and weed. And she's like, there's no amount of prescriptions in alcohol or weed and like my health. Like I need to get over this sleep issue. And she's like, I finally understand that I have to just surrender. I have to let it go. I have to, one, she has like a spiritual, like give this to God. And then two, I know that I have the power of my mind. I just need help. I need someone to help me direct my mind the right way. Sure. Boom. Within 3 months, she had her defibrillator out. She stopped being afraid of flying too. She was sleeping like a baby for sure within 3 months, but she was sleeping normally within 3 weeks, which she just never thought would be a thing. But she was very committed to, I'm going to give up this reality. I've really decided that there's no drugs or anything that will solve. I need to solve this within me. So it's really making that decision, Peter. Where do you stand on dreams interpretation? Oh, I love dreams. I think that they're a way to I think that they do a couple of things. I think that they could metabolize things that have been in the brain. I also think that, and this is more on the like energetic, spiritual type of plane, especially if you're intuitive, I think that they could be informative. I mean, I've literally, and I'm not saying this is for everyone, but maybe for people that are intuitive or empathic, I've had dreams about something. I'm like, that's some random shit. And then it happened the next day. It was just like, and it's been scientifically proven that, a lot of us have like, there's a lot of declassified CIA stuff about this where they study this type of stuff. So this isn't like woo woo. It's like, this is, like a thing, but that we can project our minds into something that could, and we could, decide that we could have a different reaction to it. So I think that dreams are really powerful and can serve a lot of different things. That I do personally, I think it's a way for my higher power, God, to communicate with me a lot of times, and often like just metabolize things, like release things. When I was doing all of my healing around narcissists and toxic, especially like toxic family members, a lot of that got metabolized in my dreams. Like I'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm not I lovingly detach from you guys, which there will be a part of your healing if you have a toxic person or people in your life where you lovingly detach from it. Not like, fuck you, da da da, not like amputating. We're not amputating anything. We're lovingly detaching. That's how you really let go of that pattern so you don't repeat it and that just abusive dynamic. So yeah, it depends. And then, I think with dream interpretation, if you had something like if you had a specific question about or a dream that you had, you can let me know. A lot of times it's like it works better when you've been talking to someone because I'm like, oh, I know that about your past, but you know, I don't know if I'd be able to completely interpret it, but like I interpret my clients' dreams all the time, and it's like it's pretty fascinating. It's pretty freaking cool. So I also recommend like doing a dream journal, even if it's just in your phone. Um, I mean, I would rather you write it down so you're not exposing yourself to that light at night, but that blue light at night. But I think it's really important because I think it's teaching you, it's stuff in your subconscious mind. It's just teaching you stuff. It's anxiety, whatever. It's just trying to be metabolized. It's informative. Either way, it's informative. Grab a drink of water. I think I can mute this. Hold on. Mute. I just don't want you guys to hear me gulp. I hate gulping sounds. Um, oh, my question was more towards if there are other things that can help me achieve calmness apart from repetition. Meditation, the exercise we did at the beginning. But it's all repetition. Like you have to do it. It's like saying, "Hey, is there like a technique?" Like it's like rolling up to the gym and asking the personal trainer, "Is there like this one thing I could do like once and I'm like ripped and in shape forever?" No. It's a practice. It's like mental, like you have your physical hygiene. You brush your teeth, you take a shower and everything, and then you do it again the next day. And so we have to have mental and emotional hygiene, and we do these things every day. Yeah, I meditate at least once a day, usually twice, like in the morning and then, to clear up, and then it clear out my mind at night. And I do it, and I think about the things that I'm creating in my life and the things I want to be, do, or have, and I'm like think about them like I already have them as I'm falling asleep because my brain is in a theta state. And when it's in a theta state, it's more suggestible, meaning like the subconscious mind is like, oh yeah, that's real, so it perpetuates in your life um faster. So um yeah, all of these things you have to do on repeat. It's not a one and done thing. I do want to keep at it since I want to silence the inner critic. Yeah. And the more you do that, the more you realize your inner critic is not you. But yeah, bro, you're going to have to do all these things on this is just like a lifestyle. Like when you realize I'm not a victim to my inner critic or these thoughts or my brain or like and it's a way to empower yourself. So we do these things all the time, and I post videos every day about this. I do the work every single day all the time. So yeah, and it's really about falling in love with that process. And for me, it really has aligned me deeper with my higher power and understanding what like God really is in my life, and that I could trust that, and that it like my mind is so powerful, but working with that higher, you know, vibration of energy, whatever you want to call it, God, love, consciousness, peace consciousness, it just heals everything, brings everything into alignment so much faster once you get out of this resistance. And like, at this point, Peter, it's just like just watch everything on my YouTube channel on repeat, especially because I have like a lot of shorts. On it, I have the most stuff here on YouTube. So and actually, I have a lot on TikTok that like with supplements that I recommend and certain products, but yeah, they're like supplements that are related to mental health, and then also like aging, like NMN, like I talked about before. Huge believer in that. Game changing. So TikTok is the platform that has more in terms of like products that I really care about and promote. Um, I have chickens. They sound really good for your mental health to have chickens. I love all those videos I see about people that have farms and stuff. I'm like, "Oh, it sounds amazing." Yes, I agree with dreams too, totally. I have a critical question, JMP says. Uh, I dream of a 20 chicken that sounds amazing. 20 chicken coop. Yes, get it. What are your dead giveaways of a toxic person which might not be readily visible? So, dead giveaways for a toxic person, I think, or I know, are two things, especially when you initially meet them. They are really trying hard to be charismatic, to like draw you in, right? So they're over, like you have this like very over the top, like, oh my God, we are, that person's just so amazing. And they really rush the relationship, whatever it is, like with romantically or friendship wise. It's just like, oh my God, we're best friends. We're gonna get married. I love you. Like, oh, it's just like too intense. It's too much at once. I was just working with someone who, looking back on it now, she's like, she just got out of this professional relationship, and she was just like, yeah, I got love bombed, and then I'm in this business partnership, and it's just, and then everything got terrible. So it's just like when things are really going fast, that's a bad sign, and you feel it. I always tell people that it's always a good opportunity to really trust your nervous system, because your nervous system is so smart, and it's a really good GPS and like a radar system, and it will tell you. We ignore it. And let me tell you, I will be the first one to tell you, I have ignored my nervous system and my intuition so much to my detriment. So please listen to yours. But and once you trust your nervous system, I have to tell you, it it just never, it's never wrong, and it will keep you like out of so many situations. And also what's fascinating is because we all we all energetically like feel each other. Like it's been proven that your heartbeat can extend, what is it, 3 feet outside of you. So someone can feel, like a toxic person can feel, if this isn't, if you're not available to be manipulated, and then they just fall off. And at first, like when you start healing, you're like, where are all these people? I'm so lonely. It's a good thing. So, and also, and so another thing is this, like you feel a certain way, like you don't feel settled. Um, and when you first start to notice this, it could be very strange. And it was for me. I'm like, oh my God, this person seems great, but I don't feel right. I feel nervous. I feel like tense. You will feel a certain way. And also, if they are, starting to ask you for things, if they, I, like, I don't know, I'm totally thinking about this. It's not even just one client, but this type of dynamic where someone is getting out of a bad situation, like they just got out of like a terrible, like traumatic something, right? Like something traumatic happened to someone, and then to, let's say something traumatic happened to you and you're healing from that, like you're in a vulnerable place, and then someone comes in and they're like, oh my God, I'm your savior, all this stuff. And so you become like emotionally, or sometimes, or whatever, emotionally, financial, I don't know, you're very dependent on them because you're in this vulnerable place. That's a bad, and then they start trying to manipulate and control and make you feel bad. That's a bad sign. And then, also in the initial stages, it's always this, oh my God, I'm putting you on the biggest pedestal ever, and you're the most amazing person. And then you fall right off that pedestal. And then with a dig, and you're like shocked. And then your cortisol levels spike. So you go from serotonin, oxytocin to this sharp cortisol spike. And you know what your body and brain want you to do? They're scared, and they're like, oh my God, let's do whatever you need to get this cortisol down. And I need that serotonin and that connection, because we all want that connection and to feel safe. And so then you start like excusing things, and you start ignoring things, or you start like pandering to them. If you have any of that thing, that's another sign. And also, if you feel like you have to perform for them, yes, if you have some codependent stuff and, unworthiness stuff, you're going to feel like you have to overly give, but you also are probably attracting certain like people that are going to do that. So if you feel like I have to just give this person a gift, or I have to not in like a good way, like I want to court you, and not like a, Because I do think like the masculine energy in a relationship should court and do all the, but it doesn't feel right. It feels like if I don't do this, this person is gonna like leave. It has a different feeling to it where it doesn't feel good and safe. And the last thing I would say is like, yeah, your nervous system does not feel safe around those people. And it's really, it's really like difficult to admit that because you're like, oh man, I thought it's disappointing. Let yourself be disappointed for that 28 or 48 to whatever 72 hours. Like just let yourself be disappointed and move on. Because I'd rather that than you being tortured by some person like these people with personality disorders are really like energetic parasites. They are parasites, and all they want to do is drain your energy because they have so much shame and guilt and truly hate themselves, and we're not going to do that. Okay, I comment to make you angry. Sorry. Dream journal, shadow work. Yeah, dream journal. And yeah, it can't, like, dreams can show you parts of your shadow, like just unconscious stuff you don't want to look at. But it's all just trying to be metabolized. Like the brain is so smart in that way. JMP, how do you differentiate who is on your side? So that's kind of an open-ended question, but like who is on your side? I think that I'm gonna assume that what you mean is like who actually cares about you, who um, is like really has your best interest. And that should be shown. I mean, I kind of want you to comment a little bit more on like exactly what you mean. But when someone really cares about you, again, your nervous system is going to feel safe. When someone really cares about you, they will make time for you. If someone's like, "Oh, I'm busy," but when they need you, even if it's just to like text about something, then you need to be, there should be a reciprocity, a very like natural reciprocity. And what I mean by that is like sometimes in friendships, like you're down bad and you need help, right? And then sometimes you're in a better place and you could be more available for someone. That's still a healthy reciprocity. Now, if someone's always like, oh my God, and needing help, and that's not reciprocity, that's an energy vampire. So, but it should feel like safe and supportive. So, does that answer your question? Ew, comment to make you angry. You love gulping sounds. See, you're one of those people. You have the opposite of what I have. I have misophonia, which is like it's a neurodivergent thing where you get so triggered by like chewing and gulping. I'm like, oh, so but yeah, some people love it. Um, but and I say in JMP, I say this in a lot of my content. I only want you to give energy to people that actually love you and actually want the best for you and actually want to see you win and actually can be like supportive and loving or whatever and provide a sense of safety and peace for your nervous system. Not like that everyone's going to do that perfectly all the time. No, we're not Nazis over here, but when someone is just an energy vampire or just is a taker versus someone that can really show up and love you. Okay. Mike, are there any rules of thumb to understand the dream? Mine always feel like a puzzle with multiple messages, even if it's just one dream. Write them down. No, there's no rule of thumb. There really is no rule of thumb. That's like what I don't like about 40 and psychology. I mean, I feel like it was a good start, like, but yeah, like I don't know, not everything that's whatever is phallic, and like not everything means something to. This is again why I like Jung, because he talks about symbols. Like there are certain archetypal symbols that are true for every generation, every culture, and every, you know, and you could just Google it, like Carl Jung and then symbols and archetypes. So that could help. And it's also just fascinating. I think it's fascinating anyway. So that could be a good place to start, but also like what that individually means to you. And what I love about this question, Mike, and you like asking and doing it is like you write this stuff down, and it's a way for you to get to know yourself better and what's in your subconscious mind and metabolizing all that and bringing it into the consciousness, because then you have more self-awareness and then you have more power. You're more empowered and you have more control over your mind. And so like, it's fun that it's or I think it's fun that it's all these different puzzle pieces and different messages. Write them all down and then just be curious about it. Like, if you wrote all those things down, like, just like you were, like a friend doing like, "What does that mean? What do you think that means?" Just be curious. Or like your little kid, "What does that mean? What do you think that means?" Just be curious about yourself because you don't really know. And I've had times where I've written things down, um, from a dream, and I'm like, "What the heck was that?" And then, like, even months later, it's like, "Oh, that's what was being processed." So that's why dream journals are so cool because you can look back on them and sometimes months later, it just all ties together. But the brain is so freaking smart in doing its thing. It's fascinating. But yeah, there's no rule of thumb. Just having the awareness and processing it, I love. What are some what are one and done things, at least practices that don't need to have I that's what I'm just saying, there's no one and done things, and I feel like that's what the pharmaceutical industry tries to sell you, big pharma, like, there's no it's not it's I don't even wanna say it's, like, not easy, it's just do you like, if I said, "You know what? I don't wanna shower every day. Is there, like, something I could do, like, once so I don't have to bathe every day?" No, and it feels good to bathe every day. So, I don't know anyone and I would never, ever recommend any if someone tells you this is my opinion, if someone's like, "Oh, do this one and done thing and you'll be blah, blah," like, even if it's, like, hypnosis, right? If you do hypnosis, you still need to integrate that shit. I hate and here's another thing, ayahuasca. I've done ayahuasca and I've done some of these other things. You don't just do and I saw these people, they were like, "Oh, now I'm healed." No, you're fucking not. And you're gonna be here next month trying to do ayahuasca again, thinking that this ayahuasca is gonna heal you. You can do something that can kind of bring out something, but then you have to do all the integrating work. And if you're going to do that, you need to work one on one with someone that actually knows what they're doing and knows how to integrate stuff that came up from whatever mushroom trip and I'm not putting those things down, but people do not use them correctly. So no, there is no one and done thing. I've learned the hard way. I'm not trusting my gut. Yeah, I've learned the hard way too, Peter, I had to not trust my gut, even though I knew I mean, I went to grad school, I know what the nervous system does. I have a background in neuroscience, okay? And I still wouldn't trust my gut, so I get it, I understand. But now you get to trust your gut. And, like, isn't that nice to know that you have this GPS, this, like, internal system in you that is just always leading you in the right direction? That's so cool. Part of my growth is towards that as well. Good call out. Yeah. Practice that this week too. I'll set more of an intention. Actually, let me write that down for next soothing Sunday. But that can also be a intention to trust your gut. And we'll go over like more exercises, but that will save you so much time. I'm telling you. Even if it doesn't seem to make sense, it's like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna trust my gut. Okay. And then if you have a sense of a higher power or God, whatever you call it, you could I'll just be like, you know what? Okay, God, through my nervous system, you are telling me red flag. I'm just gonna trust. I don't get it. It's not making sense right now, but okay. Yes, I know firsthand. Jojo says, yes, I know firsthand what it is. It is having high cortisol levels, very unhealthy. Yes, we don't, we want to keep those down. If we have high cortisol levels, it is showing us that something needs to be modified. Our reaction, there's an opportunity to have a different relationship with something, a different pattern around something, or we need to stay away from whatever is causing that. Peter says, general question, is it worth it to understand a toxic person? Are toxic people capable? Why do you care if they're capable of change? So, I want you to watch more of my videos. Especially I have a tab like in YouTube. It's not called a tab, it's called like a playlist of toxic like narcissist, like dealing with narcissists because the point of my work, I inform you about what's going on so you don't feel freaking crazy because that's how they want you to feel, and, like, they wanna offload all of the guilt and shame and everything onto you and make you think that everything is your fault. So, I educate you guys on what is actually going on, but there's like a slippery slope of like a lot of people just get obsessed with that, and like that's why I don't really like Dr. Ramani's content, because I think like one, I think that she just makes shit up, like she just makes terms up, but it's to keep you like addicted, and you're already in a state of pain. If you're looking up stuff on the internet about how like narcissist or whatever, you're you're already in a painful position, and I do feel like people that do that kind of work where they just talk about like all these evil things that they do, it's keeping people in that pain feedback loop, which is great for her views and it's great for, I guess, her business, but it's not helpful. Okay, I want you guys to heal and recover and really thrive after this, not just be stuck. Like, I don't want to like, and I always tell my clients this, we are not going to be having the same conversation in a month, like certainly a year. Like, we're going to be talking about other, your problems are going to be like, oh my God, like what color is my yacht going to be, or whatever you think like champagne problems are. Right. So in terms of that, like, no, I think if hey, I'm dealing with a narcissist, boom, we're done. Now I need you to focus on, why did I attract that? What wound do I have that's not healed that I could look at, where so I don't attract that again? And when you say, are they capable of change? I of course they're capable, but the thing is they typically don't want to, because being capable or changing requires accountability, and they do not like accountability. They get very angry with it. Of course they can. They physically and mentally, they're not like incapacitated. That's why when people say like, oh, it's genetic, it is absolutely personality disorders are not genetic. They're just a cluster of defense mechanisms that are trauma based. And so instead of looking at your trauma and doing your part, it's like, and again, it's so lazy. It's like, I'd rather offload all my shit on you and have you process it and then go to therapy. And then when you start to get better, I'm going to tell you that that therapist sucks, or that you're stupid and you're still unhealed, or and you'll always be unworthy. It's like this very toxic patterning. So I'd rather you not even care about that, like release the expectation or the question about that, because a lot, like I would say 90% of the time, maybe 95% of the time, when I have a client or anyone ask me like, are they capable of change? It's because you're still addicted to the love bombing phase, the idealization phase, and you want that person back. But I have to be honest with you, that person never really existed. They became whatever lie they needed to become to pull you in. That person doesn't exist. So I'd rather you completely work on yourself so you never attract anything like that again, because you deserve to be in a good, safe, loving, supportive relationship. Jojo says, if a woman tells me she doesn't want anything serious, only a sex thing, immediately I think so. I think it's an immediate red flag. And that's actually really masculine energy, like to be that way. I'm not about that. Should I go with it or block her? I don't think that's going to lead to anything good, personally. And I also think that, I mean, I know that, if you're a guy that's just like completely controlled by your lust and you need to like bang a bunch of chicks all the time, like that's your red flag, but I feel like and I feel like those type of men attract those type of women, and they like really toxic dynamics occur from that, along with like getting whatever type of STI, STD. But would you even be sexually attracted? And this is like an honest question. Like, would you be sexually attracted to a woman that's like making herself that available? That's like, here, just like, you know, trying to keep it, PG up in um up in YouTube land. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like, do you want that? And so like, and a lot of women that do say that, a lot of them, I mean, a lot of them have borderline personality issues, but a lot of people, they would rather get some type of like adoration. I don't know what's the word I'm thinking of, but they want to get some type of like feeling like wanted or whatever, instead of doing the inner work around like where they're hurting, because you're hurting a lot if you're just wanting to go around and getting like fucked by random dudes. I'm sorry. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that. But like I think it's a huge red flag. I don't think I think giving that energy is not what you want. I don't think that, I mean, that's not like a high quality person to me. Um, and do you want, and like also sex is an energy exchange. And yes, it doesn't have to be this like serious thing all the time. I'm not saying that, but it's still an energy exchange. So you might want to have sex with someone that you like respect and, you know, other things, and you're not worried about like getting something. I don't know. That's just my opinion. And it's like, I mean, it's not a big deal. Like, I'm not like putting that down about like being promiscuous or even like whatever. People get STDs. It's not that. It's just like energetically, that sounds very chaotic. And you do like share energy with people that you have sex with. And it's like, do you really want that? So, but to answer your question, yes, I would block her. And also, I would also decide I'm blocking that energy. I'm not available, because you could attract Jojo. You could just attract another woman in a button. You'd be like, why do I keep attracting women like this? So it's more about I am deciding that I am only available for high quality women that look like this and this. And you could do one of my favorite exercises. I love this exercise. I love giving it to my clients, which is, what are my new standards? Okay. And it's springtime. This is like all about renewal and rebirth and like, you know, new beginnings, right? So write down, like seriously, get out your journal and take it very seriously. It's like, these are my new standards. And you list it in health, wealth, relationships, career, spirituality, or your relationship with God, universe. Like, what does that look like for me from now on? And I'm going to hope, Jojo, that in the relationship space, like, it's like I only give energy to high value women that are picky about who they have sex with or whatever, you know, that type of thing. How does that sound? A comment to make you angry. I made a habit to acknowledge a habit. I made it a habit, it acknowledge what was a positive nourishment and what was a negative. Yeah. It's like, is this contributing to my well being or is it not? It's that simple. Is this contributing to like where I want to go or not? With people, places, things, even the TV and like what you consume, like media wise. It's like, is this contributing to my well-being? Like, I will watch something that's funny and light, and it's like, I like to laugh in the night sometimes, help me relax. But am I watching something dark like for hours? And no. I come to make you angry. If I can't answer these 4 questions daily, then yeah. Okay, Mike says, oh, it's super fun sometimes. It just seems it becomes another form of rumination if one spends all day trying to figure out what the fuck. Yeah, but you don't have to spend all day. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you have like a time um that's like in the morning, it could be 10 minutes. Write it down. You don't have to figure it all out, because that's impossible to just, you know, that's why I'm saying it will circle back to you, but just write it down so you're releasing it. And when you write something down, it's just there, and it's not in your mind all day. So it's kind of like, I'm just putting it there. I'll come back to it tomorrow. Hi, Tim. BK Advocates. Hit the like button. Oh, thank you. Tim, we've talked about this. What are you doing to not feel depressed and lonely? If you keep identifying that, that's what you're going to get, my dear. Thanks for answering my question. Oh yeah, you're so welcome. Thanks for asking it. I think that's, you know, especially when you're getting out of a toxic relationship and, you know, you have certain questions about, like, it's good to check yourself and good to like ask things, you know, and like the little bit that you talked about your last relationship, it's giving the same type of energy, right? Like, when people are overly promiscuous, they're looking for some type of validation that they're unwilling to provide for themselves, and it's a never-ending black hole. There's not enough, you know, you can't bang enough people to have that fulfilled. That's an inner work thing. And meanwhile, you're going to really damage your life and any of your relationships trying to do that. So, not so great. Okay. I think I answered all your questions. Let me know if there's anything else you want to talk about. I'm going to go live again on Wednesday. And I think, let me check my schedule. I think I'm going to do Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific. Yeah, Wednesday the 25th. Um, either 5 or 6 Pacific. But I'll make a post about it. But I kind of vacillate between Wednesdays and Thursdays depending on like clients and everything. And I'll have a better update for you with my school community that I'm going to open. I'm excited about it. Let's see, Peter, what is your favorite travel destination to get re-energized emotionally? It depends. It depends on like what type of mood I'm in. I live near the ocean. I'm very grateful to, and like the ocean is just like something that always recharges me. But like in the winter, being in like snowy places, but that's a you thing. It's like what recharges you. I just think it's important to be in nature. Like even if it's just going for a walk outside, no matter where you are, and getting some fresh air and things like that are really important. But yeah, it's just different what time of year it is for me. I tend to like gloomy weather sometimes, and that makes me feel. It was gloomy this morning, and that was great for me. But I live in California. It's like, oh, it's sunny every freaking day, and I know I shouldn't complain about that, but it's just nice to have a little change up. So you know, I have a client in the East Coast, and she was like, "Oh, it's raining." I was so jealous. I was envious. Cali here as well. Nice. So, you know, but I think the point is to, you know, just reconnect with nature or be in nature. And also like these techniques I'm going over, it just allows you to be really present. All of these things, if you want to rewire your brain and recalibrate your nervous system, you need to breathe deeply. You need to be in the present moment. And those things could really help you be in the present moment. You know, I often say, like, just go notice the trees moving with the wind. What does that sound like? Can you hear a bird? Go for a walk and decide I'm going to just pay attention to every bird I hear or whatever it is when the leaves are moving. Things like that pull you into the present moment. We are constantly training our brain to be in the present moment and to be in a regulated state. That's why I'm always talking about telling your nervous system, I thrive in a state of peace. I thrive in a state of peace. That's why we're conditioning our mind that way. Let me see. I comment to make you angry. Thank you. Love you too. Okay, well, I think I got everyone's questions. And again, like if you have a certain question that you want me to answer, you can DM me on Instagram or TikTok, or I have like my number in like my link tree. My favorite movie quote: yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. Yes, that's all we have is this present moment. Isn't that cool? And from this present moment, you can create a completely new reality. This is the truth. It's like so cool. It's very cool. You're very welcome, Mike. Love you guys. Love talking to you. And I will see you on Wednesday. I'll make a post announcing the time, but it either be 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Pacific. You're welcome, Peter. Love you all. Have an amazing week. Do that technique I went over in the beginning and let me know how it goes. Bye, guys. Love you.